Good evening and welcome to City News. With soaring vaccination rates and very low COVID-19 case counts, a wider reopening that will include indoor gatherings and larger outdoor events is just around the corner. But what that will look like is still unknown, and calls are growing louder for the province to release those details.
They're not releasing information, not even a hint as to what capacity will be. So we're blindfolded in this and just hoping for the best.
Every September, the streets of Port Credit are filled with the sights and sounds of the South Side Shuffle. Outdoor concerts like this Mississauga Music Festival will get the green light under Step 3 in Ontario's reopening plan. But events like these will likely be dramatically scaled back, and right now organizers are sitting in limbo.
Everybody, every theater, everybody that's trying to put on a live event, how can you plan? And then you make a promise to musicians or actors, and at the last minute you have to pull them. Then what happens to your budget? What happens? You still have to commit money. If you have contracts with people, you still have to pay these people. Then what happens to the event or the organization?
The next phase of reopening is about 2 weeks away and could happen sooner now that Ontario's vaccination rate has far exceeded the threshold of having at least 70% with the first dose and 25% fully inoculated. That means indoor dining will resume, movie theaters can open, capacity will increase for retail and religious gatherings, sports and recreation can move back inside, all with limits and restrictions that remain unknown.
Is it going to be 15%, 20%, 25%? Then the business owner has to decide, is the capacity restriction at a number where I can reopen?
Julie Kwasinski with the Canadian Federation of Independent Business tells me restaurants are already scrambling.
It's not rocket science. The number one thing is, how many people am I going to be allowed to seat in my restaurant? Currently, the Step 3 chart just says indoor dining. That's it. So questions that a restaurant will be asking for indoor dining are, how many people will I be allowed to seat at a table? Will I have to put up plexiglass between each table, or have a table in between each of the tables where people are sitting? How much cost will there be for me for PPE?
This week, the mayors of the GTHA reached out to the province calling for clarity.
I know they're working on it. I'm optimistic they're going to have something more to say about it this week, and the GTHA mayors were just saying, please do it as soon as possible, because it is an urgent matter that involves planning.
And if you're wondering what happens after Step 3, well, during a stop in North Bay yesterday, the Premier said those details will be released in the coming weeks. We also got an update today from Ontario's Chief Medical Officer of Health, who had some interesting statistics on vaccinations. Of 29,000 COVID-19 cases reported between May and June, over 83% of infections were those who were not vaccinated. About 15% were people who had just one dose, and just over 1% were fully vaccinated.